Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the main news on Camnet TV. Let's take a look at the stories making headlines in our news tonight. Police apprehend 5 UNZA students for riotous behavior. A man abandons his family due to daughter's brain cancer. African swine fever breaks out in CHONGWE district. And in international news, water shortage pushes wildlife to migrate from Zimbabwe. And in sports news, FAS challenges club media officers to promote the Zambia Premier League. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Do join me with the details shortly.
Camnet Television, your #1 community channel in Zambia, is getting closer to you. For authentic and balanced news and events in the nation of Zambia, tune to Camnet Television station. Camnet Television is coming to your area to broadcast your greetings and other related activities to loved ones. Make a date with Camnet Television. Watch and make your weekend meaningful.
Charlie Popa Alpha Lima, Njombe here, Jim Russia 001. Do you copy there? Alpha Lima. I hope you see pressure yako Mumbai because I feel like Pumrape. Charlie Popa there. Do you copy? Katabefana go now. See, choka kumumba. Karibeno pumula kwapia paunza. Afana lichani abakasi. Sira kukambisa na chabe hivi so stumverana. Is better ni ambokonga chabe pa my doorstep. Tuzi vis-a-vis chabe. Tuzionana vis-a-vis aibo to aibo. Yes, Charlie Popa Delta 8. Kwasa kamba sae ndako afuno pumula. Ndeke fatigued. That's a report I was given. Say that was Ati say that bossy. Ati mizako muntu. Eka nito pomuleko please. Tulinama banja knife. Speta chabe ni ambo konkera. Because if I don't go to their doorsteps, the relation is a sira. Better vis-a-vis. Let me start dealing with this vis-a-vis. I'm a doorstep tab. Head on.
Time 11 hours to 12 hours every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and repeats from 18 to 19 hours every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
And now the news in detail. A pipe burst has caused a near flood in Lusaka's central business district, affecting parts of Benbela Road at Duli Motors and some parts of Freedom Way. A check by Camnet News at Kulima Tower bus station found some buses parked in water and members of the public using crossings to access the area around. Kulima Tower bus station vice chairperson Christopher Nengule told Camnet News that the water spillage has disturbed operations and called on authorities to quickly rectify the situation. Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company Public Relations Manager Shamba Mzungu says the water spillage has been caused by a construction accident which damaged one of its supply lines. Let's get the details in this report.
A massive water spillage has caused what can be termed an artificial flood along Bembera Road and parts of Freedom Way in Lusaka's central business district. In a seeming rain season scenario, the water here is coming from a pipe burst which occurred during construction works that are ongoing near Afe along Rumumba Road. A check by Camnet News found members of the public using crossing points to have access to the areas around, as well as some buses at Kulima Tower bus station were parked in water. Kulima Tower bus station vice chairperson Christopher Nengule expressed worry at the situation, stating that it has affected business.
Pipe ya boga so manzi ya manje yangara force kwambo bwera kuno kose ukwazura kwa ntima pakama mamotoka ero futi na bantu mwene bamajumbira kucha as you can see kucha kwa vuta kucha waito wapapa kuseni kweze manzi oti masobe waita kupapiwa abantu so stizwa bevichitika so ini sign futi ya manzi munga time ya rain season uno tina problem so stizwa aba water and storage company kapani wa council.
When reached for a comment, Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company Public Relations Manager Shamba Muzungu attributed the spillage to a construction accident.
It's just an accident. So it's an accident, and you expect this in operations, from time to time. You may have an emergency shutdown, you may have an accident, you may have scheduled, shutdowns for repair works. So I think what is important to understand is that in operations, technical operations, this is not strange. You will have accidents sometimes.
At broadcast time Tuesday afternoon, the constructor was seen trying to resolve the problem. For Camnet News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
Police have apprehended about 10 people in connection with a riot that occurred at the University of Zambia, UNZA, Monday evening. The protest is alleged to have been as a result of the cancellation of the Students' Union elections due to financial challenges. Police spokesperson Ray Hamonga says the 10 people include 5 UNZA students who have so far been apprehended in connection with the riots. Meanwhile, University of Zambia Student Union President Chadra Chongo has condemned the act and alleges that political interference is what has left properties destroyed.
While the perception is riots are in the past now, this is what has been left after about 500 University of Zambia students took to the street and protested against the alleged cancellation of the 2023 Student Union elections. Allegations are that on Monday, 18 September 2023, the student blocked Great East Road with drums, stones, bent tires, stoned motor vehicles, and about 5 shops were broken into and assorted goods were looted within the university during the riots. Student Union President Chandra Chongo confirmed to this journalist that students were angered by the step to cancel the student elections.
It's a situation of whereby we had a protest last night. So students decided to do a protest which escalated into having a riot. The cause of that was due to the cancellation of the election by the UNZA Electoral Commission, which they announced yesterday. So that reason is what agitated the student to think of conducting such a protest, which ended up escalating into a riot. What made the Electoral Commission to cancel the elections were funds. As UNZA, we do not have enough funds to fund or maybe to progress with the activities of holding elections.
The student representative also discloses that there is also political interference at the helm of the cancellation of the student elections.
Political interference in our elections, and I have been mentioning about this for some time. And some political players who are serving at national level have been interfering in our union matters, and they have been inciting as much as they can, and they have been in the forefront of engaging the aspiring so that they can fund them, which is a bad thing for the continuation of the union.
Meanwhile, police have arrested about 10 people in connection with the riot last night. Police spokesperson Ray Hamonga says the 10 include 5 UNZA students in different academic years ranging from year 1 to year 3. Mr. Hamonga says police officers have been deployed around the campus and are monitoring the situation while investigation into the matter are ongoing.
The more than 500 students rioted over the cancellation of the 2023 University of Zambia Students' Union elections due to financial challenges. The students blocked Great East Road with drums, stones, bent tires, and started stoning motor vehicles. During the riot, 5 shops were broken into and assorted groceries whose value is yet to be established were looted within the university campus. One female student identified as Twambo Jinyama A22, who is a first-year student studying psychology, sustained bruises on her right hand and general body pains. Quick action by police prevented the situation from escalating. The students then retreated back into the campus. Police have been deployed around the campus and are monitoring the situation, and investigation into the matter are still ongoing.
By broadcast time, the university management was in a Senate meeting, but students were mute on the issue as calm had been restored. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
A 29-year-old woman of Kuta village in Luanshya District has been abandoned by her husband after her 5-year-old daughter was diagnosed with brain cancer. Judith Nsofu explains that she was abandoned with 2 children by her husband after discovering that her daughter, who was 6 months old by then, had developed brain cancer. Ms. Nsofu, who was recently discharged from the University Teaching Hospital, UTH, in Lusaka, has since appealed to well-wishers to come to her aid with taking care of her ailing daughter. The woman says she has no other sources of income to sustain her children, especially her daughter, who needs both medical and financial support.
A mother of Luanshya District in Northern Province, 29-year-old Judith Nsofu, is in a plea for assistance after being abandoned with a daughter suffering from brain cancer by the husband. Ms. Nsofu tells Camnet News her husband left her when the daughter was 6 months old, but now life has become unbearable as she is unable to work following her daughter's operation, which has left her with an artificial eye which requires a daily wash. Ms. Nsofu, who was recently discharged from the University Teaching Hospital UTH, adds that her daughter's illness has culminated into a partial stroke, which requires money urgently to seek further medical attention.
So no kushto mutifingi for ndesho mwana wako batete mbombe mushena abantu tete njikale flimu manikire yamwana yarafuta kwa baba shibe fi amufunyeri isomo bika muso yali yashupa tete mushiri mwana ili ntolira fuma ile fa kwa fuma tina kushuko kuli Zambia wakili na Mungu katifuti walibotishana.
It can only be hoped that well-wishers or government will respond to this call and assist Ms. Nsofu, seek medical attention as well as provide for her daughter's necessities. For Camnet News, Afias Kaptula.
Government has imposed a ban on the movement of pigs and its products into and out of Chaminuka area in CHONGWE district of Lusaka province due to the outbreak of African swine fever in the area. Minister of Fisheries and Livestock, Makoze Chikote, says the outbreak has been recorded at one facility with an initial population of 596 pigs, and between 12th and 16th of September 2023, a total of 13 animals had died. Announcing the outbreak Tuesday morning, Mr. Chikote says the outbreak will also result in the slaughter of pigs at the affected areas and contact farms with 583 pigs so far, targeted for the exercise to curtail the disease, which has no known cure yet.
Government has announced a ban on the movement of pigs in and out of Chaminuka area in CHONGWE district due to an outbreak of African swine fever. Minister of Livestock and Fisheries, Makozo Chikote, says the disease was confirmed on Saturday, 16th September 2023 at the Central Veterinary Research Institute.
Now, this is where we are even now encouraging that farmers now have to take all what they are doing as a business. It shouldn't be just a tradition of just keeping the animals. They have to take it that it's a business. Now, being a business, you have to put all the necessary measures in place if you want to thrive on the market.
Addressing the media Tuesday morning, Mr. Chikote disclosed that about 583 pigs are targeted for destruction in order to curb the disease, which doesn't have cure.
Me saying that there's no cure to this disease yet. There's no vaccine that we can use to treat these pigs. The only way is to eliminate the affected animals. So it needs your support to communicate that our farmers can understand.
Director of Veterinary Services Geoffrey Muka says measures have been put in place to ensure the spread of the disease is avoided.
We really have very few chances, very small chances of this meat to have
smuggled through, to have gotten through into our system.
Meanwhile, some pig traders in Lusaka have pledged to adhere to the ban.
Ban on the movement of pigs from within Chaminuka area. And being a trader, as myself, I'm really surprised because that's where the source of my livelihood is. So anyway, there's nothing we can do much because we are following government orders and we shall comply until when the government will lift the ban. Yes. Neto Siadenda.
When reached for a comment, Small Livestock Association of Zambia was not in receipt of the official communication. For Camnet TV News, Hafias Kaptula, Lusaka.
Some pupils at Michael Chilufyasata boarding school in Machinga province are allegedly being sexually abused by unknown people due to the non-completion of the construction of the school since 2017. This came to light when a Soka member of parliament, Marjorie Nakaponda, while on the floor of the National Assembly, called for the completion of the school whose works have stalled since 2017. Ms. Nakaponda says the situation at hand is blowing out of proportion and is afraid that many female pupils who are squatting at a nearby boys' school may end up being impregnated.
In my constituents, I have Michael Chilufyasata Girls Boarding Secondary School. This school has stood for quite a long time. Madam Speaker, I'm appealing to the President through you to complete this school, Madam Speaker, because as I'm talking now, the girls are squatting at the Soccer Boys Secondary School. These girls are being pregnanted every day. Pregnancies are the order of the day, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm glad about 2 ministers came to this school. The Minister of Infrastructure and the Minister of Education. But up to now, nothing has been done, Madam Speaker. And here, they are saying they've completed the secondary schools. Madam Speaker, do you want me to cry because of this situation? Madam Speaker, my pupils at Michael Chilufyasata are being bullied by the boys together with their teachers. They are telling them that they should go to their school, which is incomplete, Madam Speaker.
A 20-year-old woman of Mtendere compound has been dragged to court for allegedly abandoning her 3 children. Maureen Mackay has been charged with 3 counts of desertion of a child, contrary to Section 168 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia. Allegations are that the accused on 31st of August 2023, being a mother and having lawful care of her son and 2 daughters, aged between 3, 6, and 7, willfully and without lawful or reasonable cause, did desert and leave the said children without means of support. The accused case was allocated to Magistrate Simvula. Former President Edgar Lungu has threatened to petition the government for breach of constitution if no appropriate amends within 48 hours will be made to uphold his freedom of movement. According to a notice of intention saved to the Attorney General on Tuesday, the former head of state says the government should allow his freedom of movement if it is to avoid lengthy court process action. In his notice, he claims he was stopped by immigration officers from taking a trip to South Korea to attend the World Peace Summit scheduled for September 18, 2023 to September 20, 2023. The former head of state also states that the Minister of Information, Chushi Kasanda, and the ministry's director, Tabo Kawana, issued a statement indicating that he needed the government's permission to travel. The former head of state, through his counsel, Makebi Zulu, says he instituted judicial review proceedings in the High Court protesting the illegal decision of immigration officers, but that the court set September 25th for a status conference after the summit, rendering the action academic. Opposition Patriotic Front Secretary General Raphael Nakachinda says there is no illegality or wrong in giving an interview to a foreign media house. Addressing the media at the Lusaka Magistrate Court, Mr. Nakachinda claims his statement during the said interview with the Zimbabwean journalist had no fake element. He explains that the comments were not meant to cause issues between Zambia and Zimbabwe, contrary to what is being alleged by the ruling party members. He sympathized with UPND Lusaka Province Chairman Obvious Mwaluteta for expressing ignorance over the matter. Details in this report.
The opposition Patriotic Front have defended themselves from allegations that they are conniving with foreign forces with intention to cause issues between Zambia and Zimbabwe. Recent appointed Patriotic Front General Secretary Raphael Nakachinda says there is nothing illegal and wrong in giving an interview to a foreign media house. He says there was no false statement said in the interview, adding that the comments were not meant to cause issues between Zambia and Zimbabwe.
We're not only talking to media houses, foreign media houses. We had press briefings in South Africa, press briefings in other jurisdictions, speaking about the issues at that particular time that we felt needed to be challenged. There's nothing wrong and illegal in giving an interview to a foreign media house, expressing your opinion. That's why today is a global village. What I'm saying now on social media is reaching out to many other places.
On Monday, the 18th of September 2023, United Party for National Development, Lusaka Province Chairman Obvious Mwaluteta had alleged that some opposition political parties were conniving with foreign forces with intention to eliminate the president. Mr. Mwaluteta had said this when he was reacting to a documentary produced by a journalist from Zimbabwe that is making round, where opposition Patriotic Front members accusing President Hakainde Hichilema championing a neo-colonialist movement to topple liberation movement in SADC. He had also called on the police to bring all individuals who are planning ill against the president to book.
To investigate the issue where the opposition are accusing the president as one affecting regime changes in the SADC region. Countrymen, Zambia has nothing to do with the SADC report. In fact, if this oil is coming from the SADC report, Zambia, the president of this country, did not send anyone to Zimbabwe. It's the chairperson of SADC by the name of Hakainde Hichilema who sent a representative from SADC to go and monitor the elections in Zimbabwe.
However, Mr. Nakachinda sympathized with Mr. Mwaluteta for expressing ignorance over the matter.
But that also has been, justified by the fact that even during his inauguration, something unconventional was, expressed or done. That is to have opposition leaders who are part of that foundation attend the inauguration of Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. Maimani did, Chamisa did. And when we highlight those things, you can't now just wake up and say that's espionage or whatever offense they're talking about. We sympathize with people like Mwaluteta because of their level of ignorance. We sympathize with the likes of Matambo, who are basically just rumpens that are used to do things that actually go to injure the relationship that exists between Zambia and Zimbabwe.
Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
You're watching the main news. We now take our first set of commercials. Do join me with more news after the break. Don't go away.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, too, me.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and interrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Thank you for staying with us. We now continue with the rest of the news. Nalolo District Commissioner Namatama Mupo has handed over 152 mattresses to the Health and Education Departments to curb the shortages of mattresses in health centers and schools' weekly boarding houses. The District Commissioner has also handed over 30 bicycles to the Department of Agriculture for easy movement of Extension officers. Ms. Mupo says the bicycles are meant to assist Agriculture Extension officers to travel long distances to offer services to farmers. She has since warned the recipients to put the handed over materials to good use. And speaking when he received the items, Nalolo District Board Secretary Victor Likezo has assured the District Commissioner that all the items will be taken care of.
In order to mitigate the challenges most boarding schools and clinics in the country face, the government is slowly finding ways of addressing some of the challenges. These challenges are especially common in upgraded schools where pupils in weekly boarding houses are sleeping on the mats and floor, and Nalolo District is not exceptional. Nalolo District Commissioner Namatama Mupo has since handed over 150 mattresses to the Department of Health and Education and also 25 bicycles to the Department of Agriculture. Speaking when handing over the 150 mattresses and 25 bicycles, Nalolo District Commissioner Namatama Mupo urged the recipients to guard the given materials jealously, as it will help learners and the patient to have a comfortable sleep.
And as Nalolo, we are so delighted to receive this gesture. Handing over these mattresses to the Ministry of Health to take to our clinics around the Nalolo District so that we can cushion the pressure of not having mattresses in our clinics. Over these mattresses to the Ministry of Education, government has created a conducive environment for the learners because we found that our own children, the pupils, were sleeping on the floor, literally on the floor. Then we have bicycles, a total number of 25, have been handed over to the Ministry of Agriculture.
Speaking when receiving the mattresses, Nalolo District Board Secretary Mr. Kezo Mnyima and his agriculture counterpart Laila Gondwe appreciated the gesture.
The mattresses given to our schools, which is going to help in facilitating our girl child who is sleeping on the mats. These mattresses will go a long way. And
other farmers. So we are so grateful to the government for giving us transport, 2 motorbikes which will add to other motorbikes that we'll have, and our camp officers will be able to do work effectively and efficiently and deliver and provide services that the farmers require.
Meanwhile, others who spoke during the donation are Mkumbota Mnyima and Mushokabanjinawa appreciated government for the gesture as it will help them to execute their duties.
Njinga ingechwana musebezi ukalubera aho bunoro nikwakuba kubukanya kutaka kwa mikopano nikwakuba potera
mi njinga inifumanika chenu ikanitusa mwa musebezi wakonga unga balimi.
This donation is meant to curb the challenges of mattresses in weekly boarding schools and clinics, and also to question the transport challenge in the Department of Agriculture in Nalolo District of Western Province. Mosia Wakavia reporting for Camnet News in Nalolo District, Western Province.
The Youth Changing the Mindset organization, YCMO, has challenged the youths in the country to focus on coming up with solutions to challenges the country may be facing, unlike relying on the government for everything. Speaking during the launch of the Empowered Project at Twikatane Action Community School, Organization Executive Director Kampot Mwansa says youths should adopt a mindset of creating positive change in the lives of underprivileged youths by supporting their education. Among the items donated include school bags, shoes, pens, pencils, books, and other learning materials to over 50 vulnerable pupils at Twikatane Action School. One of the beneficiaries, James Kunda, has welcomed the gesture.
Helping vulnerable pupils in different community schools by donating bags to them, school uniform, shoes, pens, pencils, and other school materials. And today we have officially launched this project at Twikatane Action School, where we have donated bags, pens to more than 50 children at the school.
We really appreciate for the End of Mind organization who support our children, giving them bags, books, and we are looking forward to make sure that the organization will continue to support our school. And this is not the hand. We thank also the organization, the executive director who organized this program. We are looking forward also to make sure this program will continue supporting our community.
Namaraba na mapeni watetera sana pali ya kakabungo pakutetera kukankara bwiso.
The Luanshya Municipal Council and JM&J Traders Limited have signed a 2.4 million kwacha contract for the construction and rehabilitation of High Figure Road. Luanshya Municipal Public Relations Manager Gideon Tolle says the scope of works to be undertaken in the project for the road construction include rehabilitation of drainages, road formation and stabilization, as well as laying of concrete pavers. Mr. Tolle says the constructor is expected to move on site to commence preliminary works this week, and that construction works are expected to take a period of 12 weeks. He says the contract for the construction and rehabilitation of road project covers a portion of High Figure Road stretching from Zanako Junction to the town center roundabout. Mr. Tolle says once completed, the project will culminate into a road which will be 220 meters long, accommodating 4 lanes of 5 meters width, with a 2-meter inland separating the double lanes. In other news, the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, of the United Nations, working in collaboration with the Department of Veterinary, have validated the standard operating practices to be followed by all veterinary officers in the country. The validation process took place in Cabo District of Central Province and has officiated by Deputy Director Research and Epidemiology, Mr. Paul Fandom. Dr. Fandom said that Zambia continues to have its health security threatened from zoonotic diseases, including re-emerging and pandemic infectious diseases and microbiological resistance. Nais has more in the following report.
These are officers coming from the Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock. They have congregated here to validate the standard operating practices for animal health. This move is aimed at reducing errors and increasing efficiencies.
We have noted through our assessments we have done using the laboratory monitoring tool and the surveillance evaluation tool, we noted that there is a gap in the sample referral system. The referral system is a bit down in the country. So that's why this workshop is meant to develop the SOPs, which were done last week. Last week we were at Trinjira, we developed the SOPs, and now this week we are having these SOPs validated.
Meanwhile, Research and Epidemiology Deputy Director Dr. Paul Fandamu says weak health structures have contributed to the failure to prevent, detect and respond to zoonotic disease threats.
Zambia continues to have its health security threatened from zoonotic diseases, including emerging and re-emerging and pandemic infectious diseases, and also antimicrobial resistance. The Zika, Ebola, COVID-19, and the recent Marburg disease outbreaks in Tanzania are among health threats which Zambia needs to be prepared for. Weak health structures have contributed to the failure to prevent, detect, and respond to such threats.
And Northern Provincial Veterinary Officer Dr. Sidney Kalenga says it is imperative to build networks and follow the standard operating practices.
So we'll look at standard operating procedures such as sample tracking and also incorporating the courier system within the referral system. And basically this is also going to improve our networking, because there has been this issue of the private and the government working maybe in silo, but we want a system that is integrated with the approach of One Health behind. That is exactly what we are looking at.
Dr. Kalenga also revealed that his province is free from rabies, as positive strides have been made.
In Northern Province, we have controlled rabies as one of the zoonotic diseases. We had an outbreak in different districts, including Senga, Mungwi, as well as Kasama. So what government did provided the funds for us to do the vaccinations, where we vaccinated all the mentioned districts, including those districts that are closer to the districts that were at risk.
Helen Witte reporting from Kabwe, Central Province.
Still to come in the news, FAS challenges club media officers to promote the Zambia Premier League. I will be back with the details after the break.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage. ensuring a high yield. RainGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Thank you for staying with us. And now for the rest of the news. In international news, Usman Sonko's lawyers have filed 2 appeals with 2 courts. They are asking the Court of Justice of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to order the Senegalese government to suspend the dissolution of the PASTEF party and to restore the party's political rights in view of the presidential election scheduled for 25th February 2024. The first appeal was lodged with the ECOWAS Court of Justice, the second with the Senegalese Supreme Court. In both cases, the lawyers are seeking the annulment or at least the suspension of the decision to dissolve Usman Sonko's political group. Here's a roundup of news beyond our borders.
Large numbers of elephants from Zimbabwe's biggest national park are moving to neighboring Botswana to survive. The Zimbabwe Parks and Wildlife Management Authority spokesman said Monday that water bodies had dried up in the CHONGWE National Park, leading to the migration of the mammals. Tinashe Farawo added he couldn't quantify how many elephants moved since August. Buffaloes and all types of animals present in the park are also migrating in schools in search for water and food, he said. CHONGWE National Park covers an area of more than 14,600 square kilometers and is home to about 50,000 elephants. With the increase in water shortages over the years, wildlife migration between the park and Botswana is not uncommon. However, the spokesman warned the migration came too early this year, citing climate change. It could lead to an increase in conflict between humans and wildlife as animals pass through populated areas. The EU's top diplomat on Monday voiced solidarity with France's ambassador to Niger. Joseph Borrell addressed the media after an informal European Foreign Affairs Council on the margins of the UN General Assembly.
And we also express again our solidarity with France over the situation of its ambassador on the ground. So full solidarity with France and full support to President Bazoum.
The stationing of French troops in Niger and the continued presence of France's ambassador despite an expulsion order has upset some Nigerians. Borrell maintains Europe has been committed to the Sahel.
We have been the biggest supporter of the region. The biggest supporter in terms of security, development, humanitarian aid, and we have to underline the importance that we attach to the region. We have been directly affected by the events in the Sahel as neighbors, as partners.
Since Mohamed Bazoum was deposed in a coup, the junta has appointed a new government and said it will return the country to democratic rule within 3 years. This proposal was slammed by regional bloc ECOWAS.
We insisted on the idea that we need African solutions for African problems. And we stand ready to support further the African Union and ECOWAS. We also reconfirm our support to President Bazoum and praise its courage and determination. It's almost 2 months that President Bazoum is resisting without electricity, surrounded by their former guard, not willing to resign because he considers, and he is, the legal authority in Niger.
ECOWAS imposed economic and financial sanctions on Niamey. In the same line, Nigeria cut off electricity supply to Niger. The West African bloc has also threatened a military intervention.
Usman Sonko's lawyers have filed 2 appeals with 2 courts. They're asking the Court of Justice of the Economic Community of West African State, ECOWAS, to order the Senegalese government to suspend the dissolution of the PASTEF party and to restore the party's political right in view of the presidential election scheduled for February 25, 2024. The first appeal was lodged with the ECOWAS Court of Justice, the second with the Senegalese Supreme Court. In both cases, the lawyers are seeking the annulment or at least the suspension of the decision to dissolve Usman Sonko's political party. According to Abdoulaye Tall, lawyer and spokesperson for PASTEC, there is no legal argument to justify the dissolution which took place on July 31. The The lawyer says the party have never broken the law, and it is one of the few political groups that fulfill the obligation to submit an annual financial statement. The big question, however, is how long it will take ECOWAS to reach a decision. The same goes for Senegalese Supreme Court, with the presidential election only 5 months away.
In sports, the Football Association of Zambia, FAZ, has encouraged media officers from all Super League teams and provinces to step up and meet up with the demands of club licensing. Speaking when he officially opened the media officers workshop in Lusaka Tuesday, Football Association of Zambia President Andrew Kamanga says the launch of the Zambia Premier League presents an opportunity for media officers to reinvent the way they operate. Kamanga says in order for the Zambia Premier League to be an attractive brand, it must be well packaged by the media, but most importantly, the way clubs are going to operate will determine how attractive the total package will be. He says the workshop will equip the media officers on subjects like laws of the game, media relations, and guide on football clubs' do's and don'ts. Uganda-based media consultant Andrew Oyada is running the media through various aspects like media operations, crisis management, with other speakers like respected media consultant and football administrator Pongo Liwewe making a presentation. That item brings us to the end of the news, but before I go, here are the top stories making headlines. Police apprehend 5 UNZA students for riotous behavior. A man abandons his family due to daughter's brain cancer. African swine fever breaks out in CHONGWE District. And in international news, water shortage pushes wildlife to migrate from Zimbabwe. And in sports news, FAZ challenges club media officers to promote the Zambia Premier League. We now look at our Camnet verse of the day, coming from the book of 1 John 3 verse 1. See what great love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God, and that is what we are. The reason the world does not know us is that it did not know him. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Thank you so much for watching, and good night.